Ladies and gentlemen, Merrick Garland joined the theatrical performance in Congress and said he's watching closely. If you type in Merrick Garland on Google, what Merrick Garland has said about indicting Donald Trump, Newsweek, CNN, Garland says he and prosecutors are watching the House Congressional Theater, CNN, Bannon to Garland over indict Trump and will impeach you. Well, let me tell you something. It's interesting because they desperately want to stop Trump from running. That's what this is all about. They can't find anything. There's a chance that they indict Trump even though they know that they'll lose. There is that chance. See, I've been stating all along that, yeah, you know what? They're not going to indict Trump because when they point one finger at him, a couple of other fingers go and point in their direction. The only problem, however, is that they might not be rational, and they might say, look, we have media. We have MSNBC, CNN, The Washington Post, The New York Times, The Atlantic, Vanity Fair, Esquire, Rolling Stone, Mother Jones, The Nation. Those aren't really... like Time Magazine, New Yorker, New York Magazine, Los Angeles Times, all of Hollywood Twitter, social media algorithms. Twitter won't be there in terms of the social media algorithms they can manipulate because Elon Musk is going to control it soon and allow discourse that, oh my God, might offend or actually expose the Democratic Party corruption, which we couldn't talk about, by the way, because it's just always against guidelines, like Hunter's emails. Could you imagine if there was a topic of discussion pertaining to any corruption within Trump's administration that was prevented or suppressed or silenced on Twitter? Could you imagine? Could you imagine the Steele dossier? If people couldn't talk about the dossier, which was literally purchased by Trump's direct political rival, and the Durham probe, through the testimony obtained by Robbie Mook and Mark Elias and others in the latest trial, which didn't end in a conviction, but the testimony was what it was all about. We learned that the Steele dossier and a whole bunch of other lies were funneled into the U.S. government to start investigations into Trump. That's the antithesis of democracy. But could you imagine if we weren't able to talk about these things in the manner that Hunter's emails were silenced and suppressed, and then you had former intel chiefs saying, oh yeah, it was a plot by another country, as always, to inform you of corruption within the Democratic Party. You see, another country wants you to know, so then you'll vote for Trump. But NPR, Attorney General Garland, federal prosecutors are watching the January hearings. Okay. The Guardian, Garland is watching January. Where are the articles saying Merrick Garland acting like Mashed Potato Brain Joe's personal attorney? Oh my goodness, the norms! What happened to these norms with the Steele dossier? Or accusing Trump of being installed by the Kremlin? Or of the Alpha Bank allegations that were complete nonsense? Or of former Federal Bureau of Investigation agents saying, we'll stop Trump? What happened to those norms? What happened to those norms? Accusing an incoming president from an outgoing Democratic administration, accusing an incoming Republican, has that ever happened before? It's Democrats who shattered all these norms. Nothing. The last 6 years has been just an endless attempt at retribution and revenge for Trump defeating Clinton. And it's Democrats who've shattered all sense of normality. They've tried to infuse, through late night and Jimmy Kimmel, Twitter, internet platforms. They've tried to, embed their own sensibilities within every aspect of American life. That's why you have apoplectic friends and family members disowning you because you vote for Trump. Because they truly believe that they're on the side of justice. As Hunter obtains hundreds of millions of dollars in deals for Joe, in which in his email states, one email says, I give 10%. He gives 10% to his father, the then vice president and current president. But hit subscribe to this channel. I have a huge segment on the stock market crash channel What have I been saying? I started the stock market crash channel in September. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody cares on H.A. Goodman, well, over almost 200,000 subs. Nobody cares yet. But it was a pretty important call. I don't want to say amazing, phenomenal, but it was a pretty important call when I was telling people in September of 2021, the market and the economy were going to crash and tank. How many people do you know on YouTube? Peter Schiff, fine, and there's a number of other, like, really intelligent, amazing individuals. But how many people do you know on YouTube that were telling you that the market and the economy were going to collapse in September of 2021? Not many people. I was one of those people. If you're watching this segment, I was one of those people. So hit subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends about this channel. And subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel and the Bitcoin Crash channel below. I'll have segments right after this segment, and they'll be below in the description section. And please subscribe there. This is going to be a quick decline, unfortunately. A very steady, cataclysmic debacle. I mean, it's going to be a catastrophe in terms of the economy. It's only going to get worse. We're only in the first inning, ladies and gentlemen. I wrote also in the Federalist, and I'm going to update my website, H.A. Goodman, to right when you see the website, it'll show. I wrote in the Federalist, published in the Federalist in October of 2021, saying that Democrats were pushing us towards a stock market crash. And we're seeing it now. But Merrick Garland is either engaging in theater. He is almost certainly not going to indict Trump, although there's a chance. I don't know what legal statute. They're not talking about a specific statute because the Attorney General of D.C. and the Mayor of D.C. and they haven't leveled any charges at Trump, haven't stated that Trump broke any laws or committed crimes, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation said there was no evidence, scant evidence. It's always, insufficient evidence. But there's evidence there. But it's scant, insufficient evidence that it was coordinated in any way. It had nothing. There was zero coordination from Trump. There was like 3 hours and 7 minutes that they obsess over, in which eventually he told people, he condemned the chaos and mayhem, which I condemn and you condemn. Everybody condemns it. Do Democrats condemn a whole summer of $1 to $2 billion in property damage? No, they don't. They say, well, the cause was noble. Yeah, I agree. The cause was noble. I agree with why people were demonstrating in the summer. I don't agree with the $1 to $2 billion in insurance and property damage, and 19 lives lost according to Wikipedia. But you'll never get a condemnation for people who talk about dishonor. It's the height of dishonor to ignore an entire summer of chaos and mayhem and focus on one day because it benefits you politically. But that's the Democratic Party. Merrick Garland is not going to indict Trump. You never know with politics, and so it could happen. I'm not, this is not one of my, predictions that, on the big calls, I'm right. I said the economy is going to collapse. 6 years ago, I said Clinton was going to lose to Trump. See, I've been telling people things that, the entire mainstream and most people aren't talking about. I talk about that on this channel and on the stock market crash channel and the Bitcoin crash channel. It's going to get a lot worse, ladies and gentlemen. Layoffs, recession, it's going to be a 2008 moment. We haven't even seen hedge funds go under yet. We haven't seen hedge funds go under, banks, all of these things. And there's a huge, there are on the horizon numerous calamities that could serve as a catalyst for a much more profound downturn in the market. And it's like we haven't seen the Lehman Brothers or AIG moment yet. We have not seen that moment yet, but it could very well happen. I mean, I believe it's going to happen, that type of thing. So, I mean, like I said, I've been telling people, for a long time, I said, if you don't need to be in the market, if you need the money, if you're about to retire, you have no business being in the market. But see, at this point right now, 401ks, layoffs, recession, food shortages, energy prices through the roof, GDP in decline, like I said, recession. It's only going to get worse. The market's going to absolutely tank a lot further. It's just going to get a lot worse. That's why they want to indict Trump. they know that they don't even want mashed potato brains Joe to run again. They know it's going to get a lot worse. In fact, I'll do a segment tomorrow on that issue. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. The economy getting worse. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe now.